arms, anxiously waiting for Hayley to try her creation. After taking a big bite, Hayley moaned orgasmically. "Oh, Trudy! Oh, wow!" "Glad you like it," Trudy said, beaming. Hayley chewed and swallowed and then wiped the sides of her mouth with a napkin Trudy had provided with the sandwich. "I have a strong feeling we're going to be fast friends." "Good, because my husband and I just moved to town a few days ago, and we barely know anyone." "Well, I know pretty much everybody in town, so I can change that. What brought you to Bar Harbor?" "My husband, Ted, is a minister, and he's been hired to take over at the Congregational Church." "I had heard rumors Reverend Staples was thinking about retiring, but I never thought he would get around to actually doing it." "Ted is going to observe him for a few weeks before he officially takes the reins," Trudy said, watching happily as Hayley took another big bite of her sandwich, closing her eyes and moaning some more. Hayley tried to speak, but her mouth was so full she couldn't, and she had to wait until she could chew enough to swallow again. "I'm sure you and Ted have a lot to do having just moved here, but once you get settled, maybe we can plan a dinner with you, Ted, me, and my husband, Bruce." Trudy's eyes lit up. "How about tomorrow night?" "That soon?" "Like I said, we don't know anybody, and I'm starved for good wine and good conversation." "Well, I can guarantee good wine. As for the conversation, you'll just have to wait and see how Bruce and I do." Sal Moretti barreled into the front office from the back bullpen, his nose sniffing, and bellowed, "What's that smell?" "Sal, this is Trudy Lancaster. She and her husband—" Sal ignored her and zeroed in on the sandwich lying on Hayley's desk. "What is that?" "A sandwich," Hayley said, smiling at Trudy. Sal rolled his eyes. "Yes, I know that, Hayley, but where did it come from?" Hayley gestured toward Trudy. "Trudy brought it in. She just moved to town and she owns a food truck." Sal's face brightened just as Hayley's had at this welcome news. "Where is it?" "Parked right outside," Hayley said, chuckling. Sal pushed past Trudy and looked out the window. "I've been wishing for years we'd get another food truck in town besides that rude Cloris Fennos with her stale bread." "See, Trudy," Hayley said, grinning, "your husband may be the new minister, but you're the one who is answering everyone's prayers." Sal reached for his wallet in the back pocket of his pants and pulled out a 20. "Do you make Italian grinders?" Trudy nodded. "With my very own homemade Italian dressing." "With extra pepperoncinis?" Sal asked, almost drooling. "Coming right up." Sal pumped her hand and finally offered her a smile. "Sal Moretti, nice to meet you." "Trudy Lancaster." "Now make it quick, Trudy," Sal said, back to his usual gruff self. "I have to leave here by 5 to interview a town council member, and I don't want to be rushed eating my sub." Sal turned his back on them and marched back to his office without saying another word. Hayley shrugged. "I swear he will grow on you. Eventually." Chapter 2. If Hayley thought she had an immediate connection with Trudy Lancaster when they had met at the Island Times office a day earlier, it paled in comparison to Bruce's instant bonding with Trudy's husband, Ted. Ted was tall, lanky, and handsome in an offbeat sort of way, probably gawky as a kid, but had grown nicely into his looks. She was also surprised that he was in his mid-40s, since Trudy was at the very least a decade younger. But the couple seemed to fit perfectly well together, and Hayley found both of them utterly charming. From the moment Bruce and Ted shook hands as they met in the parking lot of Mama de Mateo's restaurant at the top of Rodick Street, the two men found themselves immersed in a lively discussion involving a variety of topics, including politics, sports, and the best rock bands of the 1970s and 80s, with Bruce arguing the merits of Fleetwood Mac and Ted defending the legacy of the harder-edged Led Zeppelin. Hayley and Trudy exchanged smiles and chose to take a back seat to the conversation in order to allow these two new buddies to get to know each other. As Hayley took the last few bites of her garlic-crusted haddock and helped herself to a tasting of Bruce's scallops in a coral vodka sauce, she decided she had heard